Some of us, we end up incurring debt. We incur debt. I can't afford it, but swipe the credit card. Swipe the credit card. And we bury ourselves in debt because I want to keep up with the Joneses, as they say. We want to keep up with people. It's embarrassing. They bought a new, I have to buy a new car. She has the latest handbag. I also have to do it. I have to get it. I don't want to be inferior to people. Do you know the average American household has $8,000 to $9,000 in credit card debt? I'm not talking about more, just credit card debt. A recent study that I read in the UK residents, according to a study that I recently read, 20% of UK residents, they have to use credit cards to pay for their necessary bills, their basic bills, like utility bills, water bills. People are buried in debt. Why? Of course, we have systemic issues, there's no doubt about it, but part of this problem is that scarcity mindset. We're never satisfied. We have to have more. We've convinced ourselves that if I get these new shoes, I'll be happy. If I get this new car, that's all that I want. But it never ends. We know it never ends. And what happens as a result is that we bury ourselves in debt. Now the problem here is we end up taking on debt that is interest-bearing. Riba. You know, one of the problems, especially in the Muslim community, but especially in the Shia community, is that we don't really, it doesn't seem that we consider riba a sin anymore. You know, if you look at the Quran, the only sin in the Quran that is described as a declaration of war against Allah and His Messenger is riba. It's haram to pay interest, and it's haram to take interest. So what do? Now, I'm not trying to scare everybody, but the reality is there are some solutions. But do you know the solutions? Some of you are paying your credit card bills, and you don't realize that every time you're paying your bill, you're committing haram. So should we not pay our bills? What does this mean? Now, prevention is better than treatment, right? I think we have to, by the way, this credit card, now they call it a credit card. It used to be called a charge card. But they realized that charge sounds like you're spending money. Credit sounds like you're getting something. It's a marketing scheme. Your credit card, I want you to go and on top of Visa, MasterCard, write in permanent marker in black ink, write debt card. Because that's what it is. Every time you swipe, you're taking out a loan. You're incurring debt. That's what it is. Don't tell me all of the points and all of the things that you can earn. All of this is designed to hopefully one day bury you in debt so you spend the rest of your life paying interest. So a better way to live would be use your debit card. Use your debit card. If you don't have the cash, it means you can't afford it. Live with it. You can't afford it. Now let's say, Shaykh, but it's difficult. We want to use our credit cards. Now, scholars have offered some solutions to using credit cards that bear interest. For example, some scholars say you can only use a credit card in emergency situations. There's the principle of necessity. Al-darurat tubihul mahdurat. Necessity makes the impermissible permissible. So for example, let's say I don't have any cash. I have to pay the utility bill. The only way for me to pay it is credit card. I don't have any other option. That's it. You don't have any other option, pay it. It's out of necessity. But let's be honest. Most of us don't use our credit cards out of necessity. We use it for a lot of our discretionary spending, the extra spending. So how can we pay our credit cards in a way that at least is compliant with Islamic law? Because we do have some things called shari'i loopholes. They're shari'i. Just like when you go to the accountant and you say, I want to minimize what I'm going to pay in taxes. Find me some legal loopholes. Legal loopholes. There are loopholes, but they're legal. We also have shari'i loopholes. There are ways around it, but you have to know. If you're just paying your debt, the interest-bearing payments, without thinking, without making the proper niyyah, you're committing haram every single month. You're committing an act that is tantamount, that is actually considered war against Allah and His Messenger. Because this is a system that makes the rich richer and the poor poorer. So what's the solution? Sayyid al-Sistani, and you have to refer to your marja, this is not just a simple issue. Sayyid al-Sistani, he says, you can use these credit cards through the concept of istinqadh. What does this mean? Now these credit card companies are non-Muslim companies. The idea here is that if a non-Muslim makes their money available to you, you are allowed to claim that money. Not as a loan. Not as a loan. You claim that money. They've made it available to you, you claim it. But you may say, Sheikh, but they're going to make me pay it. Yes. You don't pay it. Again, you did not take it. These funds were made available to you. You claim it. They want you to pay them back. You're not paying it back as I'm paying you back a loan. I'm paying you from the perspective of repelling harm. If I don't pay you, you're going to create trouble for me. You're going to seize my assets. You're going to damage my credit. Now you may say, Sheikh, this sounds like a, kind of a stretch. Your intention, and at the end of the day, you're still paying. Intentions matter. Intentions matter. I'll give you a very simple example. And this is an example that one of my dear friends gave, and I think it's very good. Imagine you go to your mother with a box of chocolates. Right? Make sure she's not allergic first, but you go to your mother with a box of chocolates, and you just give your mom a box of chocolates, just as a thank you, because I love you, here. Just a random gift. So your intention, what? Is just, I just want to give you a gift. Let's say you go to your mother with the same box of chocolates, but this time your niyyah is not just a kind gesture. My niyyah is I want to pay you for everything that you've done for me in my life. The 9 months that I was in your womb, the sleepless nights, all of it, here's a box of chocolates. What's she going to do? She's going to grab the nearest sandal and whack you across the head. What do you mean, after everything that I've done for you, a box of chocolates is my gift? My question is, what's the difference? It's the same box of chocolates. The difference is the niyyah. The intention is different. So when you pay this credit card payment between you and Allah, now you may say, but I filled out the paperwork. When you're filling out the paperwork, tell the guy, but by the way, I don't consider this a loan. I'm taking the money and I'll pay you back because I know you guys are going to create trouble for me. Sayyid al-Sistani seems to allow that. Istinqadh. You have to know. Because if you don't do it with this niyyah, it's haram. You think, alhamdulillah, I'm financially responsible. No, every month you're declaring war against Allah and His Messenger. You have to be careful. Now, in general, as I said, if you don't have the cash, believe me, it would be better if we go back to the times when, if you don't have the money, you just don't buy it. You don't buy it. Live more simple lives. It's okay to not have the biggest screen TV, flat screen in the world. It's okay not to drive a Tesla. It's okay. We'll still accept you in the community if you don't have Gucci shoes. It's okay. Taking on debt is makruh. Taking a loan is makruh. In fact, we have a narration from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi. The Prophet says, "Iyyakum wad-dayn." Beware of debt. Beware of debt. فَإِنَّهُ هَمٌّ بِاللَّيْلِ وَذُلٌّ بِالنَّهَارِ. Because debt is stress at night. When you're in bed, you're thinking, oh, the thousands I have to pay back. It's stress at night, and it's humiliation during the day. Your debt collector calling you, when are you going to pay me back? Avoid it. Don't take out loans that you can't afford to pay back. Live a more simple life.